Again, give tremendous credit to South Florida. I said they were a good football team coming in there. Very good on defense, athletic, strong, good players. Like I said, 3 of those guys we tried to recruit the heck out of, recruit some of the others. Offensively, they did a really nice job kicking game. They have a very good football team. Willie Tiger's a heck of a coach, got them doing the right things, and played their hearts out. Very tough, very physical football team. Us, again, like I said, we're still a work in progress, but I'll tell you what, simple goals, take the next step. We had a lot of it, we don't wonder what would this team do when it faced adversity. Well, it faced it in the first half. Come out there and had penalties, put itself behind the 8 ball, 7-7, in a very tough, hard-nosed game. Come out the second half, and I was extremely proud. We scored every time we had it on offense, and in those drives, overcame 2 or 3 huge penalties. They actually scored, had the field goal, we come back scoring a touchdown. Very proud of the offensive football team in that regard. Got to get a lot better in a lot of areas. But once we got the communication and got going again, I was very proud of them. Our defense, we thought we played outstanding all day, except for the one trick play. They caught us on a blitz, and we had a bust assignment, and they hit one on us. But for the most part, our guys rallied to the ball, kept the quarterback uncontained most of the time. But at times, he makes plays. We knew him. I recruited him out of high school also. Very good player. Their back's a good player. But I liked what our defense did. Special teams, we had too many penalties early, and we didn't punt the ball again like we needed to. Roberto was really good. He missed one kickoff. He came up a little short on me. He's trying to get him to hang up there. But his field goals were good. He's hitting his PATs. He's getting back in the groove. And like I say, he's just a fraction off right now of what he normally is. We'll get him back and get him going. Other key component, except for the one punt, which was we kicked it in the middle of the field. We're supposed to kick it direction was what caused that punt return, and it really hurt us. But very proud of the kickoff return team. I thought the key to the second half was the opening kickoff in the second half. It set the tone, give us great field position. Kermit had a big-time run there. We've worked hard on that. It really came back and set the tone for the second half. We went in, scored a touchdown, and then we scored, like I said, every time we had the ball. But hard-fought game. I'm kind of glad it happened like that. Now that it's all over with, I'm kind of glad because I saw some of these guys' eyes on the sideline, which I'd never had ever seen in those situations before. There's a lot of work to do, and we know that. And we'll have to get on the road and go play our first conference game against Boston College on a short week. So we've got a lot ahead of us right now.
Jimbo, is there any concern on your part, as fabulous as Dalvin was today, that he carried too much of a burden there for a while?
That's what good players do. Wasn't one on Jameis either. That's why you recruit well. I mean, he did it today, but other times, Rudolph had a good, some big catches in the second half from those other guys. Right now, that's what good players do. When you need them, they step up and do that. But guys had to make blocks for him to do that too. So it was a great, that's why you get those great players.
Jimbo, what makes him such a great runner?
Vision, patience. He's really fast. I mean, extremely fast. But a lot of fast guys run into the pile. He can still run with great tempo, and he has great eyes. I mean, I don't care what back you say, they have eyes. They see things before they happen, and they get that feel and how they cut, and then he's a finisher. I mean, he has great speed to finish those runs, and he's strong. You look at him now, I mean, you think those little guys are fast, but he's a 205, 10-pound guy that's really built and strong too. So he's a combination of everything.
Well, how much do you like his focus?
Love his focus.
Through the whole process he went through. I mean, he could have lost focus.
He could have very easily lost focus. He's a very mature guy. Like he said, he knew the facts of what was going on, and we were fortunate that that was the truth, and very proud that he stayed very focused and committed to doing that. It's very tough to do.
Is he the best you've ever coached?
I'm not going to say that yet. I mean, I've coached some pretty daggone good ones now. But I'll put that way. He's in the roll call. I know that. He's a little early. His second game of his sophomore year now, guys. Come on. Now.
I mean, is his ceiling limitless in your mind? I mean,
yeah. He really. As you see, there's still a lot of things he can do better. I mean, even last week, as great as he ran, we looked at the film. He was still drastic, a little herky-jerky on things. Could have pressed some blocks a little better, and open field running and inside running. And I mean, things he can always do. Pass block, he does that well. But catch, there's always things he can do. But the thing about it, he looks at it and says, "Yes, sir." I mean, he likes him. Tell me what else I can do, Coach, to get better. Because he loves all the things about ball.
What's it like coaching him? I mean, he's the first back, 200 yards, and Sam Smith.
I know.
That's hard to run.
That's pretty good. I thought we threw the ball around there. We didn't really. We've had some pretty good ones around here, but he is very dynamic, and he comes to work. The thing about it, he comes to work every day. I mean, he likes everything about football. He doesn't just like playing in the game. He likes to practice. He likes to lift weights. He likes to run. He likes to train. He likes to watch film. You know what I mean? Like all the great ones do, and he's a heck of a player.
Jimbo, you talked about those difficult situations in the first half. How did Everett handle that just mentally?
Good. I mean, come off. At times, okay, I didn't see that. I didn't see that. There was times he come off of that. He didn't see what we saw. And I call flash look plays. You know what I mean? Real quick and got off, and things were there. I felt. But that happened to me playing quarterback. I mean, it happens to all quarterbacks. You go through that, and you got to get your feet, set your feet back in that pocket, say, I'm going to be fundamentally sound. And that's hard to do. It's like Jameis could do. You know, sometimes play bad, then all of a sudden have that ability to come back. And I was proud that he was able to do that in the second half and make good decisions. And the best thing about the day, again, didn't turn the football over. We had the one fumble, which we got back, but taking care of the football and not being careless with it, that's 2 games in a row on offense.
Jimbo, that offense, first half, second half, obviously, like you said, they scored every time the second half. What was there, an adjustment, or what
No, we
went
just
on there?
relaxing and communicating and miss one. And so on offense is fine. I mean, 10 guys right, 1 guy wrong. Just one block. They were moving on some stunts. A guy wouldn't reach a guy and get penetration and knock it back into another guy. I mean, it's just, you know, here's what I say. It's like when you run a car. Got all those big moving parts. If you take a spark plug wire off, what's the car do? It doesn't run. You know what I'm saying? And offense is like that too. You can be everybody perfect, and one guy's off, one guy's didn't reach. You know what I'm saying? And get penetration. And then it's that guy takes a turn, that guy takes a turn, that guy takes a turn. There was one. I thought he missed a read early in the game. Then the next play, the receiver didn't sight adjust, and he was ready to sight adjust. And we took I mean, just everybody, 2 or 3 guys just kind of take a turn. All of a sudden, halftime's over. You only get about 5 possessions a half. You know what I'm saying? And some of the immaturity showed. But what I was proud of, to be able to, a lot of guys can't respond. I wanted to see what they did and come back the second half and responded in a good way.
Jimbo, you said Dalvin has the ability to carry a team when they need it most. When did you learn that Dalvin had that?
When I watched him in high school.
Obvious that early.
Yeah, I mean, you saw him in high. I thought he was really special then. I mean, and then once you get here and you realize after you get him here, and halfway, you know, when he started playing 2 or 3 ball games last year and really got on the field, I mean, you start to see that. Because he can finish. A lot of guys can do those and get yards, but they don't get touchdowns. I mean, the thing about him is he's so fast that he finishes runs and changes numbers on the scoreboard, which is not always the case with great backs. I mean, you know.
What's it take to be a good finisher?
You know, I think heart, desire, and then pure ability. I mean, you know, some of those, you want to coach about coaching running back, you coach them, and you got to get those cuts. But him and God's had a meeting. I mean, you know, and I mean that as far as ability. I mean, he is blessed with great ability, but he works with that ability. He doesn't waste that ability. He takes care of his body, he takes care of his mind, he studies, he does all the things he's supposed to do.
So I think you mentioned in preseason.
I'll get you a minute.
I think you mentioned in preseason that Everett could be hard on himself after a tough practice. Did he mentally stay stable throughout?
He did at halftime. I mean, you know, like after I said, just go back to basics, go back to fundamentals. I'll take care of you with the calls and how we do things. I'll get you in a rhythm, and then we'll get going. You know what I'm saying? But here's like I say, here's all you can do. What did Coach tell me to do? Where did he tell me to look? How did he tell me to look? What's my fundamentals? And you got to do them over and over and over. And sometimes in ball, like I say, sometimes the ball don't go in the rim when you're shooting basketball. You got to. What's my form? Baseball. How can guys go 0 for 30 and then go 10 for 10? You know what I'm saying? I mean, and when you're a skill position guy like that, sometimes it leaves you. And you got to go back to your fundamentals and believe in how you're coached and believe in yourself.
Considering this is one of the best weather performances in FSU history, what are you going to remember most about today with Dalvin?
How hard he played and how much of a team player he was. Not the numbers, but how the big plays came at big moments for our team to be successful. I mean, Dalvin's a guy who has individual efforts, like some other great ones I've been able to coach in the past, that don't do it for themselves. They were doing it for this team because the team needed that. And I truly believe Dalvin's that way.
Talk about how your secondary played. You guys had a big interception in the end zone.
That was critical play, right? I mean, what the defense did was extreme. I mean, they're tremendous. They're tremendous what they're doing right now, and very pleased with them and how they tackled and how they covered balls and batted balls. We got good pressure on the quarterback. I mean, we did a good job. What were they on third down?
One of a 13 or something. One of 15.
We weren't 3 of 13. We were much better, were we?
What did you see in the first half from Golson that you didn't like?
Just flash-looking things. Going through his procedures too quick. As a quarterback, you just flash. I mean, you catch flashes of things instead of just, as they say, slow the game down a little bit. You know what I mean? And just more knowledge of what we're doing and how we're doing things.
Losing Brutus, how big of a deal was that?
That worried me. But Brutus makes a lot of calls, and the adjustments that were made there with Trey Marshall going in the back end and Tyler Hunter coming in, I think showed our depth. Because Brutus is a really good player and is very pivotal to what we do.
What do you think about the targeting call?
I haven't seen that. I was on I never saw the first one. That was a weird. That was on a block. I'm not going, but
There were 3 of them.
the last one I thought was. I mean, of course, it got ruled the right way. I thought it was right dead in the chest. And I mean, those are big calls. You're talking about guys sitting out game. We don't want anybody to get hurt. If anybody's doing that, they should be penalized and punished. I don't know that. You know what I'm saying? I got to see the first one, but You know, every time we scored a touchdown.
Slow down.
Every time we did a lot.
Slow down like a split second.
I'm sorry?
Isn't it hard for a tackler to?
No, it is, but what you got to do is just stay neck down and use your shoulders and not your head. And I thought that's what, who was the last guy that did it? Was it 29? Was it Nate? I thought that's what he did. You know what I'm saying? It looked like to me, but, and obviously it panned out. I'm going to have to see the first one.
Jimbo, you talked about third down defense. When you guys get in that third and long defense, you got a lot of athletes out there. I mean, you talk about that group.
Guys in space that can cover, run, and rush the passer. You know what I'm saying? We're getting, and not always getting sacked, but flushing those guys, making them get out, making them throw balls hurried. So, in that regard, I mean, we get some guys on the field now.
One more question. That first Marquez, the first quarter.
He seemed very good. Again, I have to watch defensive film to watch all of it. I mean, I catch him off and on and watch him, but he seemed to play pretty well.
Seemed to be good on injuries. Didn't notice any.
Yeah,
Okay on
I
that?
don't think. I mean, Izzo got that little knee twisted up, but then
back.
he came back, and I think he'll be all right. So I just saw Jake. He didn't say anything of anything he knows of right now. So
Coach Fisher, what changes will we see from Florida State as you guys prepare for Boston College?
I don't change. Let's get better at what we do. Hopefully, we just continue to do what we do and get better. I mean, you don't go change everything. You can't. I mean, what do you change? You got to get better at what you do, improve at what you do, and we'll add a few things here and there. But we got to be who we are.
The offensive line struggled early. It seemed like Coach Trickett kind of got them to regroup at halftime.
We did. We got back to putting hats on hats, and like I say, just one guy was off, and they did some movements and twists, and we knew they were going to do. And when one guy's off up there, it can cost you.
But he never thought about moving trying anybody else.
You can't. You can't. If you go and start doing that, then you destroy everything. You got to have confidence in these guys. You coach them. You put them in there. You know, you got to fix things. You got to believe in kids too. You got to believe in. Everybody wants to pull a guy, do something. I mean, just believe in the guy, coach the guy, let him go. And then if he don't do it, you replace him.
Coach, you compared.
Go ahead, Mike.
You compared Dalvin to James earlier, as far as he likes to do everything, train. Is that sort of? Was James like that too?
Oh, James loved everything. To condition, to watch film, to throw, to practice. I mean, if you practice for 10 hours, he'd be happy. You know what I'm saying? I mean, a lot of great players don't like doing it. They like the work that goes, everything, as I say, some guys like to play football, some guys like everything about football that you have to do that a lot of guys don't like. He likes that.
Thank you.
Thank you.